Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to mourn the passing of one of the last of us left. Another sister has been lost, and yet we still stand. I ask you, how did we get to this? Mother, why do I grieve the silence and deprivation when I should rejoice in the abundance we once had? Why must I feel this ache in my chest, an acceptance of no future, coming to terms with fatality rather than success? He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing. But when there is nothing to begin with and no chance of anything greater, how can gratitude exist and be learned? I ask, what is the meaning of life, my life, this life? And I am met with a harsh wind of silence as my answer. We are our own executioner. We hold the string that pulls the blade towards our necks. Decision-making has always been our weakness as a civilization. When there is too much availability at our fingertips, we consume out of greed, and rationale is as thin as the paper we tear off newly delivered skirts and jumpers we impatiently waited for all week. At what point does it stop? At what point does it become as useless as the crumpled up t-shirt in the back of your wardrobe? When it no longer serves its purpose? Or when it merely didn't satisfy you enough to be deemed worthy?
It's safe to say that Gen Z is a hypocrite in the fast fashion case. An SHU study uncovered a paradox among Gen Z fashion consumers. 94% of respondents say they support sustainable clothing, but surprisingly, 17% of them shopped at a fast fashion retailer every week, and 62% did so monthly. Only 10% claim to have never purchased from fast fashion outlets. The age group spends $767 on average every year buying fast fashion.
Put the blame on corporations, on capitalism, even on political ideology. But look around. Where are they now? When the world is reduced to nothing, they die with us. Man and money are intertwined like the nucleus in a cell. We are not and have never been a species of solitude and self-dependence. We are a social and communal breed. So why do we act as if we have blinders over our eyes and only see our own two hands? To make change is to make it a mass ripple over our economy, politics, and everyday lives. And this, my child, requires more than just one pair of hands.
The fashion industry is responsible for 10% of the total annual carbon footprint, surpassing the emissions from all international flights and maritime shipping combined.
You love clothes. You love feeling yourself, looking good, being confident. Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't love to see a version in the mirror that our brain finally accepts and feels proud of? But at what cost, darling?
The same sector consumes enough water annually to meet the needs of 5 million people and generates millions of tons of plastic and other waste, polluting both our air and oceans.
Is it worth it, darling?
According to the EAC report, 20 to 35% of all primary source microplastics in the marine environment are from synthetic clothing. A single 6-kilogram domestic wash has the potential to release as many as 700,000 fibers.
Is it worth it?
The fashion industry produces 20% of global wastewater. The Global Fashion Agenda and the Boston Consulting Group anticipate that water use will increase by 50% by 2030.
Acceptance is necessary in survival. Accepting your position in life, where you stand, where you can rise to and where you can fall to. Accept what your actions are and what your contribution is. For the point of no return may have been reached, but that does not mean lack of self-discipline and will must impact quality of life.
Around 300,000 tons of textile waste ends up in household black bins every year, sent to landfill or incinerators. Less than 1% of material used to produce clothing is recycled into new clothing at the end of its life.
The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history. Make change, if not for your children, then for the greater benefit of us as a species. Greed and vain are the most comfortable beds to lie in. I know, darling, but make it a personal goal not to be forgotten. Just because something is not memorable doesn't make it uninteresting. Remember that, child, for after me there is no one else, and then no one will remember me, And I have never been dull like